I'm Shane Nyland, and my co-host is Blake Musser. And these stories you're about to hear are from Weapons Company, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, 1st Marine Division, about the events surrounding and directly from the mouths of the people who were in Ramadi, 2004. This is part 2 of our interview with Brian Fox with Rainmaker Platoon.
And then, the routine in the Humvees, it was a good one. So we would stage day mission, night mission, QRFs or whatever, and we would all sit in. So it was me on the driver, and then Sergeant G, and then our gunner Furby. I would pull out the Copenhagen. You smoke dipped or snorted snuff, right? That's what you did over there, and I did them all. But I would get the Copenhagen long cut because I don't have a pocket for snuff for some reason. And I would take a dip and I would pass it over to Sergeant G, and then he'd pass it over to the gunner or Furby, and we'd all put the dip in, and he was like, "How you feeling today, Fox?" And I'd be like, "I'm feeling good. We're going to get them. Let's just get back," stuff like that. And then this will lead into my story is we were reacting to QRF, another line company thing, and we get in there. I take my dip, he takes his dip, we pass it off to him, and he was like, "How you feeling today, Fox?" And I go, "I'm actually not feeling it today." And he goes, "I'm not feeling it either." And I was like, "Well, whatever it is, certainly I'll see it and we'll be all right, And so we go out, and I believe we had contact, and for whatever reason we're going back. What I remember on the story is we were fearful of chemicals or something like that, and we wanted to go back and get our gas mask because for whatever reason we didn't have our gas mask on us. If that's true or not, I don't know.
Sure.
But we decided that we wanted to take Route Nova back, and then the left that we were taking right before the hospital as you're heading back is first vehicle went, and I'm making the left. And now at the time, a few side stories. We would Frankenstein our vehicles, right? So any piece of metal that we thought would armor, we would put on the Humvees. Any delivery of new something, we would put on it. So I called it the 3/4 doors. So it was like maybe the 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch steel. Yeah. If you're sitting down in a chair, that's what it covered. Your silhouette sitting down on a side profile, and everything else was open. So like the mirror of the Humvee, I could touch, through the opening. And 2 days before that mission, we just got a delivery of ballistic windshields for the high-back. So I always call them the mechanics. You have the tinkerers in your platoon. They were the ones that would always go to motor pool and like start to bolt on stuff. Or
yep.
I picture them trying to weld something, maybe bubblegum weld stuff on your truck, trying to get armor. But they changed out the windshield 2 days before. So now let's fast forward. So the first vehicle makes that left, and I make that left. And I remember seeing there's plenty of trash in the town, but just this burlap sack, it looked out of place. And I'm staring at this thing, and the next thing I'm out. I wake up and I'm staring at the shifter, so I'm spread out all the way across, pretty much in Sergeant G's lap probably. And I'm just like, probably the exact same feelings you have. What the hell just happened? What was that? But right when I woke up, I remember Sergeant G telling me a story that in the IED that got savage, that the Humvee continued rolling and it went down a ditch with everyone inside. And I remember thinking right when I came to that, we were still moving, so I slammed on the brakes. And when he tells his side of the story, he goes, "Yeah, we got hit, and all of a sudden I felt the vehicle stopping, real hard, and I knew that you were okay. And thank God he was stopping because I didn't want to go down the hillside again." And so I remember getting up and just that feeling, like everything was like flash burn. It felt like I was like sunburnt or on fire or something like that, and just confused, and that sound and everything. And I remember Sergeant G like asking, like, "Are you hit? Are you hit?" And him asking me if I'm hit, that's where I like started to freak out, patting yourself, you got some blood on your hands and stuff like that. And I was like, "I don't fucking know. I can't see myself, And I remember really freaking out on that. Really feeling uncomfortable, like you have no control in that situation.
Yeah.
But I tell you the windshield story because in that windshield, I say it's a piece of rebar, maybe a piece of concrete. There was a big old foot long of something in that windshield, just like caved in right in there. That windshield took that blast, and if it didn't, that was my head level right there. In the frame of that windshield, where that opening, there was a big chunk of concrete, and then the gunner took some a rock or something in his inner thigh, and the only way that can get in there, it didn't go through the windshield. The only way that can get his inner thigh, which is like right beside my head over here,
Yeah,
was
next
right
to your
right
head.
across the face. Yeah, so
Yeah.
someone was watching me. The stars aligned that day. Thank God the windshield lined up. Thank God the tinkerers put it in for me, and then whatever it is. But I, because of that day, I'm one that follows your gut. If you have a feeling, follow it to all sure, because both Sergeant G and I, we called that. It didn't feel right that day, and whatever it is, I'd see it and try to avoid it. And man, yeah, it all came true that day. And then out of that, I believe, I think you guys, Sledgehammer, I think you guys were a QRF or something like that, and you guys came out and we towed strapped that vehicle, and they asked if I could still get in it and try to help steer it, because the vehicle was dead. All the tires were flat, but we were close enough. We wanted to tow it. And so we were driving so slow, and I'm sitting in that vehicle all by myself, and I was like, oh, I'm about to die. They're about to get another IED on me right now. And we got to Hurricane Point, and then they got me over to BAS, did all that stuff. I was only out for a few days. I was mainly peppered. The mirror blew in me and everything like that. It was weird for a while. I'll just say that I pulled out something out of my face a year later. I don't know what the hell, but it was very weird, the amount of stuff that was I took home with me that I probably shouldn't have, from Iraq in my skin. But we got there, and I remember asking Sergeant G. He's very respectful. If you didn't want to do something to a certain limit, he was going to listen to you and try to honor that, And he was like, "Hey, are you fine enough to still drive me?" And I go, "Yeah, I'll drive you." I go, "But please don't think less of me on it." I was like, "Can I have a throat protector, please?" And he was like, "I will get you a throat protector." So he got me that Kevlar throat protector that snaps in the two things there. And he knew when I was uncomfortable or I didn't feel right, because I would tuck my chin in like a turtle, when I was driving around. So he knew something was up. So yeah, so he knew I was uncomfortable, but I wanted my throat protector. I guess it was like my security blanket, while I was out there. So.
Everybody needs a binky sometimes.
Yeah, right? That's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah, we used to do all kinds of weird shit like that. We had those ballistic blankets that were meant to protect the tow system, and we would drape those over the windows for the guys in the back seat and stuff. I don't know that would have stopped shit, but it sure made you feel a little better, like there was something that was going to stop those rocks that come flying through and all kinds of shit. Because, it didn't take much to take you out of the fight, man, and an eyeball or something like that would definitely do it. And fuck that. I don't blame you for asking for a throat protector. That was smart.
Yeah, I did it. I probably wanted those. Remember the shoulder protectors too?
Oh yeah.
I was like, I don't want to look like that. I don't need that.
Well, at least for us, we trialed them, and then our gunners couldn't get in the guns appropriately. You can still fire a 50 cal because that was just thumb spades. But if you were trying to shoot a 240 or something like that, you couldn't do it, and it just messed with your mobility and your ability to get the gun in the pocket. And so they would leave them out.
Yeah. Yeah, wild times, man.
I was one of the. I definitely run around with my groin protector on. I had my little stop sign flap right in front of the family jewels. I had no shame. I had a throat protector too. I was gonna take any advantage I could get.
I don't blame you. I was there with you, man. So yeah, tucking it in. I didn't feel right. I don't like this. So crazy. Funny story is I may have screwed you guys at one point. I remember, so you guys remember that you guys would put, I think they're mostly Mexicans. You guys took people that kind of looked Iraqi, grew their beards out, and
yeah.
So
have you guys told that story at all?
So those four guys that did, well, I don't know. Maybe you guys did something else. Please tell the story. But if you're talking about
it was you guys. I was just go ahead.
If you're talking about Sergeant Major Booker's thing,
Yeah.
Booker is Irish. He's not Mexican at all. He just got a good tan.
Yeah.
Two of the guys were Middle Eastern. One was Hekmati, who's Persian, but at least he's
Okay.
from the Middle East. I don't know the other guy's ethnicity, but he was Middle Eastern of some sort. I think he was Lebanese.
I was just going to say, I think he's Lebanese.
Yeah. But the fourth guy was Sakaki, and Sakaki is half Japanese. So
where the hell did I get Mexican from then?
I don't know. I mean, they were all swarthy brown looking dudes.
Yeah. Yeah, they would grow out their beards, you know, and they would add like maybe the toe blanket that you're talking about on the inside panel of the taxi vehicle that we confiscated, and they would drive around. I remember talking to one of them. He's like, "Dude, they definitely know who we are. They're staring at us the whole time, but it's probably just the paranoia, you know, of someone looking at them and everything." So,
right.
Yeah, wild. Can you imagine having that much tension driving through a town? No convoy, no nothing like that.
Yeah, it was a good idea, a bad execution, but very good idea as far as, you know, trying to be incognito. But
so where I may have screwed you and connected to that story is I remember everyone has their calling stories, right? Everyone got mortared while they're on the phone and everything else like that, right? But I was in that call center. By the way, I spent probably $3,000 in calling cards out there. It was wild. But I remember talking to my mom and dad, and I was telling them, I was like, yeah, they grew out their beards and they did this. And I was like, Mom, I need to look more Iraqi. And she goes, excuse me? And I, as you guys see on the camera, I'm now a little gray, but blonde naturally. And I told her, I was like, Mom, go out and buy me some just for men, beard and mustache dye. And I want it jet black. I want it jet black so I look like I have an Iraqi mustache, please. There was also a little comedy in there too, you know, because when you're back at camp, you just want to lighten the mood and just have fun and everything. So I remember they were out and I had my little caterpillar. I have a full beard now. Thank God it comes in thick, but at the time I couldn't go crap. So I had the deployment mustache that everyone does, and I'm all proud of that. And I dyed that thing jet black, and it just looks so stupid, absolutely dumb. And I remember I wanted to show it off, so I went to the chow tent. And let's just say it was lunchtime, and I'm in line, and I grab my tray, and someone goes, Marine, is that a mustache in regulation? It looks completely fake on me at this point. And my smart ass, and I go, I don't know, it's on my face, I can't see it. And I turn around, and it's the BC. And I was like, son of a bitch, you know? And he goes, yeah, that doesn't look right. I think you should go shave. And I go, oh, like right now? He's like, yeah, why don't you go shave right now? So I shaved. And I swear to you, I think it was 2 hours later, it was a mandatory no facial hair order that came across and everyone had to shave their mustache. So,
motherfucker.
Yes, if you remember that was me.
Yeah, no, I remember being very, now I know that the story has been completed because I had to shave off my amazing mustache that I had. That was actually more of a 70s porn mustache, but that's fine.
Are we ending the podcast out of frustration now?
Yeah.
It was right around then that I also got in trouble because I had grown. I always tried to be extra moto over there, and so I gave myself a horseshoe haircut. But I let my hair grow really long. That wasn't part of the shave down part. And so it had grown like 2.5 inches long. And when I had to shave my mustache, I was like, you got to shave your head too, son.
Yep. Well, now you know. I know it's been bothering you all these years. Why was it mandatory to shave mustaches?
I'll finally get a solid night's sleep. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It looks so dumb. It looked stupid. But my mom listened. She followed through. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Lynn.
That's awesome.
No, we got some wild stuff in those care package. Some of those care packages too. That was
oh man, mail was gold, was it not?
Oh, it really was. Well, especially when a couple of those times that we didn't get resupplied right, and so we were eating out of our care packages.
Yeah. No, that was nice. And you know what was really cool is just looking back, everyone's suffering, but everyone's sharing. So like if I got something, it was like, come on over, you know, it was like I guess I didn't even know a charcuterie board was a thing back in the day, but that's what we were doing,
Yeah.
on the bed. So
actually thinking of the care packages, I haven't thought about this forever, but so in one of the care packages, somebody sent over like a 10-pound bag of gummy bears.
Oh,
but
yeah.
but the thing is that by the time it got to me in the 3,000-degree heat, when I pulled it out, it was just nothing but like, it was liquid, and it was like gelatinously liquid. And so I went into the back, I grabbed my e-tool, I dug a 2-foot hole and buried it so it would like form back up, and I pulled it back out. And it was just this giant block, and I was cutting off big chunks of it with my K-bar and giving it to people. It was like a mystery flavor.
That's awesome. You got like this jelly bear, size pancake now.
The damn thing was like just a goddamn brick.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
I know my mom, she always sent me summer sausage and crackers and all that other stuff. But I was a smoker at the time, and she would refuse to send me American cigarettes. She would not do it. I was like, come on, I really want a good cigarette here. So.
Dude, because the Iraqi cigarettes were awful.
Yeah. Hammurabi's.
It was like green tobacco.
Yes.
Yeah, Hammurabi's in Sumers or something like that.
And Pine was the one I remember, because that fucking thing was disgusting.
And I remember, like, you would have to take a cigarette, you'd have to put the pack to the side and grab it and pull it out sideways, so everything didn't fall out.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
I mean, like,
yeah, they were so loosely packed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about. Yeah.
Hey, the memories you get when you're telling stories, right?
Yeah, no shit.
Oh man, they would make your just lungs burn, man.
Yeah. Another funny story is I remember, so I'm naturally a night owl, I could switch to a night schedule like that. And so we were on night missions or QRF. It was easy for me to transition. And I remember it was the middle of the night, and you remember the washer and spin dryer was up at the palace?
Yep.
You guys remember that? Okay. And so middle of the night, I'm washing my camis, and then we air dried them, and I remember I was grabbing my clothes, and out of nowhere, this shadowy figure walks up, and it's an older gentleman. He goes, "Hey, Marine, how's the water pressure today?" I go, "Good enough to do laundry," And I was like, "Have a good night," and I walk off, and I go, "Hey, there's this old guy, on base. He's not really like in a uniform." I go, "Who the hell's here?" And someone's like, "Oh, Oliver North is visiting us. He's hanging out with the battalion for a little bit." So I met Oliver North doing laundry in the middle of the night. That was my first time I ever met him. And then I think the town actually reared up while he was there, because I remember seeing Oliver North. Like we were out for most of the day, and we went out. We went to Snake Pit to get more ammo, and I remember him running, and him coming out with like bags of oranges, and he's throwing them in the Humvee. And he wanted us to have oranges out in the field just in case we had to stay out there long enough. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
So. Yeah, he did a couple of book signings, and I was at one of them. I wanted to go up and like shake his hand and just tell him. I was like, hey. And in fact, I have video of him grabbing the oranges. And the reason I have videos is, remember when I told you when we staged that Cat Platoon was there and I went to a different battalion? Mm-hmm. We had a guy named Ross Mata. He's no longer with us or anything, but he was trying to get like footage, and he wanted to sell footage. At the time, I mean, this is 2004, so it's not like we had cell phones. So he bought 10 small video cameras and 10 still lifes, and he gave it to different people that were going different areas. And he gave me a video camera and a still camera. And the agreement is I would turn in all the footage and stuff, and then he would give me like one master copy. So what I did is it's like a video game. I took a piece of isomat and I taped it on the left-hand side of the guards on the M16, and it was perfect where I could slip in the camera and like you see the barrel of the gun and the sight and everything at where I was aiming. And
you invented GoPro.
Yeah, I really did. I really did. And then so I got a lot of video. I remember one I had it on, and we were out in town. It was nighttime, so I'm using the MVGs, and a lot of us were out night and QRF and missions and maybe some more. I don't know why we were out in the middle of the night. And I remember that I was probably halfway into the convoy. It was a long convoy. And I remember we're going through a clustered area of Ramadi, a lot of buildings. And I remember through the night vision, I saw two streaks across of it from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. I was like, RPGs, 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 and we saw it and we all herringbone and everyone's turning over to the right side. And then I said earlier, I mean, they're not dumb and their tactics are smart at times. From the rooftops to our left was machine guns. So the RPGs came from the right. We herringboned and we're all facing right. And then it was machine guns from the right and then or the left. And we just all countered and aiming at rooftops. And I got video of, I had the video camera on and it's me standing behind Furby because everyone else is on the street on the side of the buildings. And then they're like, Fox, get up against the building. So I remember running and I'm trying to narrate, like a news guy is like, all right, contact came from the right, blah, 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 and just you hear the breathing and you hear the how lost you are and stuff like that, in the video. So I have all that stuff.
It's really cool.
Another footage I have is, I think everyone has pictures of us. What event happened where we're out in town and everyone was shooting up that hotel or motel or whatever it is, and we had the Army Bradleys come in and stuff like that. What was that event?
So depending on which one you're talking about, there's two that were like that. One was OP Library they set off explosives in it and tried to take out the guys on top. I think it was Fox Company that was on top. It was over by Saddam's mosque. And then there was another one that was a little further down by the agricultural buildings. And I don't remember what kicked that off, but it was a huge L-shaped ambush between that tall hotel building that you're talking about where the Bradleys came in and shot it up. And I think everybody has some kind of footage of that because the Bradley just came in and started raking the building back and forth with that 25 millimeter. Yeah. Crazy. But everybody was out then. I mean, the BC was out, Sergeant Majors running around everywhere. Like there's people everywhere.
Yeah, I got video from that day. I got us lighting up. I mean, there was like 50 people and then Humvees and everything. It was just lighting up all the windows and everything. I got full video of all that. So it was interesting.
If that was the same day, I think there was something. I think there was another larger ambush because I feel like I think a couple of us got pulled out for that, and I remember making movement to contact on some reason, and then that kind of ended there. For like, I don't know if we like pushed them into that building. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I have a memory of it, but I can't remember it.
Yeah. To my memory, that was late July because it was super ass hot. It was a pretty good sized L-shaped ambush, and you're right. We were kind of following the enemy. And I don't know if they holed up in that building or if they already had guys staged there, but that was why we ended up lighting up that building is because we took fire from like 6 different floors on that hotel all at the same time. And so rather than going in to clear it, we were like, well, we'll just clear it with bullets. Fuck it.
If there's no building left, they can't shoot from the floors.
Yeah.
There was a lot of lead in that building for sure. Taking a look at a couple of notes here. Do you guys remember the dodgeball day?
No.
Depends on which one you're talking about because we played.
Oh, was there multiple? I remember
we played dodgeball all the time.
Okay. Maybe I just watched one of them, but I thought, how cool is that everyone's playing dodgeball? Just this dust cloud, of everyone just playing and having fun. It was awesome. I remember we always had in our room, a lot of us played Risk. And so it was quite hilarious to me. In the middle of our area in our hangout, we had a big table, big old serious game of Risk. Like it was very serious. And then it was funny that, you would be called up for QRF. Everyone would gear up. Eye of the Tiger's playing in the background by me. You go out, you do your mission, you come back, you take off your gear and they're like, hey, get back over here. We need to finish this game, So,
yeah.
But that Risk board was always set up. And then I remember like we would watch like TV series that were mailed to us or something on DVD or whatever as a platoon. I remember everyone had like a chair of some sort and we'd all gather up in the front of the squad bay or the hooch or whatever. And we have the smallest TV, and the whole platoon is just watching like this TV series. I don't remember what it was, but I remember I was definitely hooked on it. Like we would stay up way too late. One more episode, you know. And we're watching that, hanging out with everyone. And like you said, of course, everyone played cards and everything else like that. So, yeah, it was an experience.
Yeah, man.
It was a long time ago, guys.
Oh, yes.
21 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember quite a lot for 21 years. That's good, dude.
I think that we're now the age that I remember watching or growing up. You know, we're the age that I remember the Vietnam vets at. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what when me and Blake were talking about before we even started this podcast, that was something he brought up in it, and I immediately had that, like, I aged 50 years in my own mind and became a crippled up old man. And
the scene from Saving Private Ryan.
Exactly, where he becomes from young Ryan to the old man at the graveside. Yeah, that was me.
Yep.
Yeah, but you're right. All the, like, you think of like some of the most epic Vietnam movies were early 80s, late 80s, and it's almost the same time frame. It's like almost, 20 years right afterwards.
Yeah, that's wild.
On the same lines, I had this epiphany. I was talking to my son last night, and I realized that the gear that we used in boot camp, all that Alice gear that was like Vietnam era, would be the same age as in boot camp they're using the gear that we used over in Iraq.
Yeah. So I have a high school friend. His son entered the Marine Corps 5 or 6 years ago, and so I went to his graduation and did all that other stuff, and then he re-enlisted and he became a recruiter. So he went to recruiter school, and he sent me a picture one day, and it was at the museum on MCRD. I think he went to school at MCRD actually for recruiter school. I don't know. There's a museum wherever he went, and he sent me pictures of woodland camis and the M16A2 and stuff like that. And I go, okay. I said, that's cool. That's the gear I rolled around with. I go, are you calling me old or something? He goes, no, sir, I'd never say that, but your gear is in a museum. And I go, you son of
a That's called tact.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I guess technically he didn't say it. So yeah, but guys, we're at that age. So
yeah, no shit.
How time flies. You know, one I was talking to Sergeant G too, and one thing I remind him of is all the hours spent, just in that vehicle, and if I was in the vehicle and we're on LPOP, I was with him, and all that time spent with him, I say we got close. I tell you, I follow my gut. I'm also a person that believes, things happen for reasons, and then, I feel that, I was there for him. He was there for me. I really believe that there was a reason he picked me, and just us supporting each other. I know I respected him respected me. He gave me a lot of opportunities and stuff like that. I'm thankful for it. One of the favorite things, and maybe he doesn't want me to tell you this, but one of our favorite things to do as a truck. So me, him, and then Furby. I hope he doesn't take that as an insult. I've called him that the whole time, but one of our favorite things to do to pass time was we would actually do poetry sessions together, believe it or not.
Huh.
And it would be, as a group, we had to pick a theme, and then it was like a committee of us three to move on to the next person. Those three had to agree that was worthy to be part of that poem on whatever the theme was. So whatever the theme was, if I started, I'd be like, hey, whatever. Yeah, that's good. No, rethink it, stuff like that. And then it would go to Sergeant G and that. We would burn hours doing that. And he was like, we did do that. And I go, I think we have I have some of them written down. But one of them that I remember, my girlfriend at the time, it was her birthday. Her birthday's June 11th, and I wanted to write her a poem to give to my brother to have flowers delivered. So I wanted the message to be the poem, and so that was the theme of the day. And they all helped me create this poem. Well, that poem must have worked magic, because as of next year, she's my wife of 20 years.
That's awesome.
That got it. And I don't remember the whole thing, but when we were talking the other week, I tried to recite some of it, and it was like, so this is what we do. Each person gave a line, and it was, these miles can never deny me that I find myself so frisky because you can do me in ways that are so damn sexy, or something like that. That was like the intro. So it was just hours and hours of these sessions just together as a group, just to break up the monotony of sitting there, and
absolutely.
And it's just hours and days of boredness for seconds or minutes of chaos, so you got to find something to do. And I wanted to share that's something that our truck did together. And it's a memory I have. So.
Dude, that's awesome. And what's funny is I plenty of people walk out of the Corps and they're like, fuck this place. I hate everybody. I'm leaving, and I'm glad I got my DD-214. I'm running away. And then other people, they stay in forever or whatever, or whatever they did. And people are always like, well, what did you miss? Like, what do you miss about it? Why are Marines very fanatical about it? And I think that is the perfect capture. You will never bond with another human being in that way ever again. You were literally in a whole nother world that didn't smell great, didn't want you there. Literally, you could die at any moment. You were praying to your gods and had rituals, and you were writing sexy poetry to your girlfriend as a team with a guy you called Furby. Like, it's a level of connection that I don't know if there's very many other jobs or positions in life you could find yourself where that would be the case. It's just impossible. It's so unique. And that's real fucking cool, man.
Yeah. I should dig those out and read some of our sessions together, because I saved some of it. If I saved it, it was for a reason. It must be mind blowing, that'd be fun to read. You were saying something. It reminded me when people ask, like, people always are curious about the military, and you get the questions like, what's the hardest or what's the weirdest things? And I always give the same answer. I go, I guess it's the most twisted thing. And they go, what do you mean? I go, you are doing things that will probably kill you or hurt you, but you're accepting that, and you're willing to do it in a heartbeat, because you're going to, if something happens, you're going to die beside one of your best friends. And I go, think of that mind fuck right there. You're okay dying because you're probably going to die right next to your buddy right beside you. And I go, and you have to put yourself in that mindset to move forward with it. And whatever happens. It is what it is, and it's going to be okay, And I go, so that's the weirdest thing, is just your willingness to accept death, but it's okay. So when I give answers like that, they're just like, oh, okay, real quiet. But what you said right there reminded me of that.
Yeah.
And all my 3-5 guys that, and then through the time with it, Sergeant G and everyone, they definitely got that same comforting feeling out of me that, hey, it's okay, because I'm right beside Sergeant G or Furby. So,
hey, man, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, this is awesome. You guys got a good thing coming. You guys, I want to tell more. I got to think of stuff. I'm looking at my notes over and over again.
Well, I'll pick your brain for one part, because this has been amazing, but it's the one thing that's very unique to your specific situation. Well, it's one of the many things that's very unique to your specific situation. You had like a sudden severing, right? You left mid-August while we kind of hung out for another 4 weeks. And then you came back, and it sounds like you had a real short time, maybe 30 days or so, and then you got out. Yep. Did you get out of the Marine Corps at that point?
I did. I was so lost and confused. Honestly, while I was in Ramadi with you, so my brother was my power of attorney that I signed, and I wanted him to fill out resumes and applications for me. And I think one of you guys did it, actually. I wanted to be a contractor over there.
Yeah.
And I thought what would be attractive about my situation is I knew I could stay in Iraq up to my EAS, because I was there. And I was like, I thought the selling point would be like, just pick me up at the gate, I'm here, I'm willing to stay. Let's just do this. And according to my brother, I didn't get any pings or anything like that. So I was really lost in the sauce. And I got out, and it was short. And I mean, what an entrance to get in the Marine Corps, right? Boot camp and the celebration and everything. But what a signature and walk down the hallway moment it is just to get out. Yeah. And I sat there just lost. I got out like on a Friday or a Thursday, and I started working as a laborer in construction on a Monday, just at a job, because was I going back home to my mom and dad in Texas and living with them? Or, at the time my girlfriend was like, well, you can move in with me and let's see where this goes. And that worked. Her name's Victoria. And like I said, we're going on 20 years and, 2 kids. So I took that chance and I stayed out in California with her and did it. And, yeah, here I am. But so I got out after 4. Of course, like anyone else, I was just like, man, should I have stayed in? And of course, at our age now, I'm just like, man, I would be retired right now and stuff like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So yeah, I got out after 4, really unsure of what I was going to do, and started working out in the field and everything. So.
And so it sounds like you were able to stay kind of in contact with Garcia, and then I think you stayed in contact with Mike and Adams too, correct?
Yeah, so my core group, so out of the 2-4, it's really just Garcia. Like I said, him and I clicked. Like I said, for a reason, I'm convinced. So it's the text message relationship. I went to the DC last May with Martinez and stuff, and I was texting him because we were out there for Memorial Day, so we were finding, the Iraqi mobile thing that they do, and I was finding the dog tag with Savage, and I sent him a picture, and I said, hey, I don't know if you like this stuff, but I just want to show you what's out there, and other people. And then we went to Arlington, and I was like, hey, let's look up if Savage is here, and he is. And so we went and visit him, and I sent him a picture, and then we flew home. We flew home Sunday on Memorial Day, and we're off on Monday. And my older stepson, who was joining the Air Force at the time, he goes, hey, I know you do like a Memorial Day hike. Do you want to do that up First Sergeant's Hill? And I go, yeah, let's do it, man. Really, I was like, no, I don't want to do it. That hill sucks, but I've done it a few times. But him about to leave, I was like, yeah, I got to do it. And what your kid asking you to do it with you. Right? So I went up, and have you guys ever been up?
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we did that.
Gone up in our old age too. So
yeah. Blake drugged me up there. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2-4. You guys have the pull up bar thing up there. Mm-hmm. And you guys got the list of names, and so I took a picture of that. So all in one weekend, I went from DC to Pendleton and was giving Garcia pictures and stuff like that. So I keep in touch with him that way. And then when he did the podcast, he said he was going through kind of a healing phase in his life, and you guys in a book helped him out and everything. And he reached out to me and said if I would tell my side, and I was like, well, yeah, and I was like, you guys. We were with you for such a short time. I didn't think we made an impact. And he's like, no, you did, man. He goes, I want you to tell your side of the story. You mean a lot to me and stuff like that. So I said, yeah, absolutely. If it helps me, great. If it helps other people, so be it. Iron sharpens iron. So yeah, let me tell my stories, or just to rekindle a memory or something like that for someone. And then on the 3-5 side, I keep in touch with a lot of people.
That's awesome.
I call and text. I heard Martinez say my wife threw me a party on my 40th. I'm now 43. She rented a whole bunch of motorhomes and did a horse or a circle in our backyard with a big old bonfire, and we had I think 11 military buddies fly in with their families, and and we all hung out here and just told stories and told the same lies. Same story gets told over and over. Then the fish keeps getting bigger and bigger, but I wouldn't pass that up for anything. That's what life's about right there. And to tell you the truth, I can't wait from 7 years from now. So hopefully she just walked in, so she's listening. Hopefully she does that for my 50th too. So, but yeah, I keep in touch with a lot of them, a hell of a lot. Our group, we say it's different. Maybe it's not. When we went over the first time, we were still with our salts. So our salts deployed with us, and they got stop lost, and we were turning into corporals at that time. But we recently got our drop of boots. But it's not like we were in charge of them because our salts were still over us. So to be honest, and then they left early. Like we left early from you guys. They left early from us. So the very, very end of the first deployment is when we were then the NCOs in charge. And so actually I tell you that because I keep in touch with a lot of my salts too. So my contact list is big, and we see each other. There's a group of about 10 or 11 of us. We see each other every year still. So,
that's awesome.
Man, yeah. That is good.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, Brian, this has been great. You're welcome to keep going. It seems, I mean, I don't know, man, you told a good story, and we're happy to have you back on later again. If you want to do it again, anything doesn't fucking matter to me. You tell me.
Yeah. No, I'm willing. I just got to think of more, I'm sitting here drinking the whiskey. So watch, I'm going to be like, crap. I wish I'd told him that, but forgot to. So scribble
it down, look up some of that poetry, watch some of those videos.
Yeah. We'll do. Maybe I should figure out how to do it. One last thing you wrote on there, and I got a note here, is one thing that you wish people knew about Ramadi, the fact that it was such an uproar city off and on and everything like that, and really I wrote that it was held by one battalion, which was 2-4, where you guys were controlling that is quite impressive. I know that when you guys got relieved or whatever, I think there was a few other battalions that went in there, but you guys had control of the city. You guys did your job, and you guys did it great. So I want to point that out.
And you guys, the combat replacements that came were a part of that mission. I was going to say, so yeah,
we did it great because you were part of that shit. Yeah. And you were there for 4 months. It's not like you were there for 5 minutes. So it's you were there for the majority of it. The only thing you missed was April. And then outside of that, you were there for all the rest of the big shit.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I don't know. Maybe it's easy for me to just look at it as I'm an outsider when maybe I'm not. But
I can't speak for everybody else, but I can speak for me. That's not how it feels for me. I felt as close to Lopez, Gonzalez, Day, and Hampton as I did anybody else. They came right in at a critical moment because we were scraping together people and starting to give our docs rifles because we needed more people on the stack to kick down doors. So you guys saved our asses, realistically.
Yeah. Thank you. Actually, let me pick your brain on one more thing. Who were our translators? Do you remember their names?
So we had Cosm. He is we called him Wilbur.
Yeah.
And then Rocco. And then we had a guy named Danny sometimes too.
Rocco was the bodybuilder.
Big guy.
Big jacked up dude with the beard. Danny had a beard. Cosm was clean shaven.
Yeah.
I remember they're all good people. So
yeah.
Hope they're doing all right.
You actually came when we had gotten rid of the bad people. We actually had a couple of people who were playing both sides as interpreters and giving up information to the enemy. And one of them slipped, and I don't know how he did it. I'd love to know the actual story behind that. He slipped away in the night. So somehow he got off camp.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I remember Rocco, or I thought it was Rocky. And then I don't remember which one it was, a shorter gentleman. I think he slicked his hair back and everything. And him and I got along. Who was it?
Mm-hmm. Danny.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Wilbur was a taller, skinnier guy, real quiet.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone hear from them? Probably not.
So, I stayed in correspondence with Cosm for a few years. But then when the Arab Spring kicked off, he emailed me one last time being like, hey, is there any way that you can help me get out of here? It's getting bad. And I didn't have any contacts, and I've tried to get a hold of him ever since and haven't heard from him. So I just hope, I hope he just has lost my number, and bad things didn't happen, but I don't know what happened to the other two.
Yeah. Cross our fingers on that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, guys. If I think of other stuff, I'll definitely reach out to you, and I'd love to keep in touch too.
Yeah, this has been great. I really appreciate your. You have a great memory, man. So
no, it's been absolutely fantastic.
It's been great having you weave your narrative. So thank you.
I'm glad you have your mustache back. And again, I'm sorry for that. So.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. I forgive you. It's hard. It's hard, but I'll find my way.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks, Brian. Have a good night.
All right.
If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe for future episodes on your favorite podcast service.